Good evening, everyone. We are here again for the last session of the Cybersecurity and Privacy Law Playbook. We started the first week of April, and today is the last Sunday, and we are going to be done. And I believe that it has been a great time learning with all us, and I'll call them experts. As a matter of fact, got it and security and private testimony to my aunt. The person started out on cybersecurity and field, starting out on that journey. And I'm happy that all of us here and the speakers that have spoken earlier, we are parts of this person's joy and testimony. So it's so good to have you all here. Like our practice is, just like our practice is, drop your name. Let's know how you feel about the last session. I really don't want it to end, but there's nothing that has a beginning that doesn't have an end. So we are going to definitely bring it to an end today. So let's know how you feel in the chat box. Are you ready for today's session and the last session as it is? Let's know how you feel about it. Let's know where you're joining us from. We have our speakers here ready. While we close this session, let's introduce our speakers to us. As we can see, we have three of them here. We have Victor Chikezie, we have Yetunde Olofile, and Tolulokwe Idowu. They'll be speaking to us this evening on how to build a profitable and sustainable career in cybersecurity and privacy law. Please keep your chat coming in. We would love to see and know how you feel about the final session. So while we do that, I will just read out the short bio of our speakers this evening. So Victor Chikezie leads legal and compliance strategy at Data Vance and manages Privacy Wiki for Institute of Privacy Design. It shares insight at the intersection of law and technology across LinkedIn, Medium, and Substack. I want to believe that for anyone breaking out into cybersecurity and privacy law, you should definitely follow Victor, especially the insight across LinkedIn, Medium, and Substack. I believe you should go and subscribe to his Medium account and Substack. Definitely follow him on LinkedIn. Then we have Yetunde Olofile. Yetunde Olofile is a seasoned cybersecurity and privacy professional with over 10 years of consulting and industry experience. Our expertise spans various cybersecurity domains, including information security governance, risk and compliance, identity and access management, DevSecOps, incident response, and data protection. With a remarkable track record, Yetunde has consulted for and led information security and data privacy transformation programs for Fortune 500 companies across diverse sectors, including financial services, telecommunications, healthcare, and energy sectors in Africa. As I'm reading our speaker's profile, please, let's celebrate them. It's an honor to have them all here. Then Tolulokwe Idowu is a legal practitioner specializing in data protection and privacy law with a strong focus on regulatory compliance, data governance, and risk management, while actively litigating data protection and privacy actions in courtrooms across Nigeria. I'll reserve my comment here because I wanted to say I remember seeing this man's name on one of these processes about data protection. But no, I won't reveal his secrets. But probably I'm going to ask him a question around that. So you guys should stay tuned. So Tolulokwe, over the course of the years, he has worked with clients across sectors, helping to develop practical and legally robust approaches to data privacy. His experience includes policy drafting, privacy impact assessment, cross-border data transfer guidance, and data breach response. He's known for translating complex legal obligations into clear, actionable strategies. Tolulokwe regularly speaks at conferences, seminars, and workshops aimed at empowering professionals, institutions, and businesses to make their data protection responsibilities with confidence. And that's why he's here, because of his passion to speak to people, industries, individuals. That's why he's here this evening. So please, let's make welcome our speakers for this evening. They are absolutely ready for us, and they're ready to dish out everything that there is they know, just for us to do well. So thank you so much for coming, Victor. Thank you for coming here today. Thank you for coming to Lope. Miriam. Miriam is joining us from Kano, Nigeria. She was in the first session, second session, third session, and now the last session. Thank you so much for coming, Miriam. We appreciate your consistency here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that will be all about the bio for our speakers. So this evening we'll be talking about how you can build a sustainable and a profitable career in cybersecurity and privacy law. The first week, we talked about why people can break into cybersecurity and privacy law. We talked about the misconceptions people have about it. We talked about the development of cybersecurity and privacy law in Nigeria. On the second week, we talked about courses, skills, and certifications in cybersecurity law, because we understand that there are so many courses to take, there are so many certifications to acquire. So what should cybersecurity and privacy lawyers focus on in the long run? So that is what we talked about on the second week. And the third week, we talk about how you can stand out for opportunities in this field, because in the sea of people around, how do you stand out? How do you show that you are worth this company's attention? How do you show people that you are worth listening to? So we talked about all these things last week. And for the final week, we are talking about how you can sustain your career and also make profit from your career. So we are ready to dish out as much as we can. Hello, Kehinde Alabi from Lagos, Nigeria. It's good to have you here. Thank you for joining us. We are happy to be here with you. All right, so to the first question that I would always ask all of my speakers from week 1, week 2 to week 3. Now this is week 4. I know yesterday is not a lawyer, but thank you, Priya. Yesterday is not a lawyer, but she definitely is in cybersecurity, right? So the question is that, aside from how do you find yourself doing cybersecurity, privacy law, aside from the traditional legal practice that we have in Nigeria, everywhere when you study law in Nigeria, people just believe that, oh, it's just to go to court, it's always property law matters, or if it's not property, it's going to be divorce cases. If it's not divorce cases, it's going to be, garnishi, mareva matters. So how do you find yourself doing what you're doing right now as a cybersecurity lawyer or a privacy lawyer or a cybersecurity professional? So I would let Tony Lokwe speak first on this, then Victor, then Itunde.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, good evening. I dare say good morning as well, depending on where you're joining us from. And it's very nice being here. Thank you very much, Oladayo, for the opportunity. Uh, I must also say thank you to Victor as well as Yetunde. These are people I've seen in the industry and I respect so much. I must give their flowers, having done a lot. Thank you very much. So let me just briefly answer your question. How did I find myself here, or why am I here? My passion for data protection stems, one, from my interest in privacy generally, actually. So I have a large interest in privacy and also the intersection of law and technology. So I would remember, in fact, my very first encounter was from a webinar just like this. It was organized by, I can't remember the name of the organization now, but Buki Ogunshakin was the guest speaker. And, she had to give various instances or various career paths of intersection of law and technology, including cryptocurrency, data protection. So, when she mentioned data protection and said some things about that, it stood out for me. I was like, oh, wow, yes, this is, it's just like when you find the missing piece in a puzzle and then it just fits right where it's supposed to be. So I just took it immediately. I started working on it. Now, given and coupled with the fact that I have a large interest in privacy, even prior to being in data protection and data privacy, I've had some encounters, by the way, in my area of practice as a lawyer with or in certain situations that has to do with intersection of, let me use intersection of privacy and the law. And now seeing the opportunity, I had to take courses, interact with several people as well, just to learn more about data protection and become a practitioner. So that's it for me. That's how I got into the field, as it were. So for me, it's my own focus of, it's my special area of practice, it's my area, it's my focus personally, because I currently work in a law firm, but that's what I develop myself in, and growing my career along that line as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tolulope. I think for everybody, it seems as if somebody has to be the catalyst to whatever we are doing. Something must trigger it. Either a person, either an event, either a situation must trigger it. So, Victor, can we hear from you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, if I think about my journey in cybersecurity and privacy, quite frankly, it dates back to even before I was a lawyer. So, I used to run
Mm.
this internet cafe back in Nigeria, and at that time, what we used to do was we give you a ticket to access a system, and part of my job as a land administrator was to make sure that people weren't using obscure means when their time is up to break through the blocker and access the system. So I was just
Mm.
basically monitoring them at that young age. I didn't really think I was doing cyber related. But when I became a lawyer and I started looking for areas to specialize in, I was already naturally affiliated with technology, given my experience, working with end-to-end and multi-links. So it was easy for me to just start paying attention to the laws that affect these companies. And that's how I stumbled upon the GDPR. And I just started writing about it. Not because I knew about it, I was writing about it. It was my first encounter with the GDPR. I read it when it came out, and I did a small piece about it back in 2007 or so. And that was just it. That was my all my exposure to cyber and privacy, and I just continued my life as a litigation lawyer. But when I came to do my master's and the pandemic hit, I really started looking for a way to specialize in an area of law that ties into the things that I'm already passionate about or the things that I've already done. So, with the pandemic and everybody going to the cloud, it was just easy for me to kind of see where the trend was going. And with that shift, I started to, I sought out some mentors, and none of them were like obvious mentors. They didn't think they were mentors.
Um, we can't hear you. Am I the only one?
No, you're not the only one. I can't hear him as well.
We can't still hear you. Something must be wrong with your sound. No, 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 no. Maybe you try to join again. Uh, so while we wait for sound issue fixed, so while we wait for Victor to get the sound issue fixed, can we hear from Yetunde, please?
Okay. Hi everyone. Good day. Um, Thank you,
Evening.
Dario. Good evening, good day, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm honored to be here. Um, okay, so to your question, like you already said it, I'm not a privacy lawyer. I'm not a lawyer at all. But I am a cybersecurity and privacy professional. So how did I find myself in privacy? It goes way back, I think 2018. So prior to that time, I was already practicing cybersecurity. I was doing GRC at the time. So when GDPR came, before GDPR, I didn't know anything about privacy, data protection. I didn't know anything about privacy. So when GDPR came, and I was part of the focus group because I was working for a multinational. So I was part of the focus group to sort of just do some bit of research how GDPR applies to us, what we need to do as an organization to comply, the impact of GDPR and all of this. So I was just involved in that. And just a year after GDPR, then
NDPA. NDPA.
So it was just easy for me to was it it was just easy, like it was like I was born to do this. Like this is where I really belong. So the research, learn about those data protection principles, then about just doing it was just easy for me. And I yesterday I was telling someone that, and to be honest, just yesterday I was telling someone that no matter how tired I am, when it's a privacy call, I just find energy. The energy would just come. Even if I'm on leave and I'm like I'm not supposed to work, but if it's private, somebody calls me for privacy advisory, I'll just find energy, and before you know it, I look my laptop. I'm already working because it's privacy, and I don't, like, so privacy is like that zone for me. I found myself in privacy and data protection. So since then, anybody that is close to me, that when it comes to data protection and privacy, is very close to my heart. Yes, I do cybersecurity on a day to day, but privacy closest to my heart. Yeah, so that's it for me.
Thank you, Yetunde. Do you know we can actually hear that excitement in your voice, the way you're even talking to us? You are in love. I was just looking at your facial expression and everything. Like the excitement was there. You are indeed in love. And we hope that you communicate this love and transfer to people here with
Yes,
privacy and
hopefully.
cybersecurity. All right, so Victor, let's go back to you. You were talking to us about how you went back when you got to abroad and start your LLM. Then
Oh yeah, I noticed that my mic was glitching. So I was basically saying that at the time that I finished, I was part of the people who graduated in the class of 2020, and at the time a lot of things changed. With the COVID, my entire school was on the cloud, and even the jobs were going remote. So I started to notice the trend, and I said, this might be the time for GDPR to really be a sweeping law. Let me go back to it. And even though at that time while doing law school, I was also in the boot camp to learn about software development and UI UX. I was just doing these things for fun. I was able to understand how companies view data, understand the relationship between their business models and data, and then apply that to like GDPR, and started observing the state's privacy laws. And from there, from just being curious about how the laws are changing, I just started to gradually transition from
a traditional compliance person into a privacy and cybersecurity person. So that's been my transition journey so far.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do you know, in all the stories that we've heard from you all here and even from past speakers, there's one thing that stood out, and that thing is the fact that there was a will and there was the diligence to do this thing. So that's one thing that stood out for me. And I would always tell people who are trying to break into cybersecurity, it takes an action, it takes will, and it takes determination to get this thing done. So if you keep saying I want to do this and you don't take the action, you would end up not doing it. So all our speakers, it didn't come to them in the dream. Cybersecurity knowledge didn't come to them in the dream. Data privacy knowledge didn't come to them while, playing around. They studied. People that were writing that had to jump into research and write, even as at the time they didn't even know it, they were writing about it, and they got to know more about it. So just start out. That's the advice. Just start out. From the stories that everybody has told you, and even my story, just start out. Start afraid. Start start however you want to start. Just start out. So thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. So that will bring me to my next question, because we are talking about sustainability and profitability. Now, we know that cybersecurity is a fast changing space. Today there's a new law, tomorrow there is an amendment, next tomorrow there is some attacks that warrant guidelines to be released and all that. How do you, as a professional, how do you stay up to date with all these trends? I was going through LinkedIn. Was it day before yesterday? Then somebody shared that Florida has one guideline for lawyers or cybersecurity, blah 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 blah. Before then, we had this story about the DPP law firm that had a cybersecurity breach. All these things have warranted different industry to create policies around cybersecurity. And if you are not selective as to what you hear or what you read, it can get so confusing because there are so many trends coming up daily, like almost on a daily basis. So as professionals, how do you stay up to date with all these trends in law, trends in cybersecurity, trends in privacy? All right, so I would let Yetunde go first. She was going to be speaking from the non-lawyer point of view.
All right. So, like you already said, it's a fast-paced, it's a fast-moving field. Either it's data protection, privacy, or you are into core cybersecurity. It's very fast. It's evolving very fast, and there are a lot of things to catch up with. You need to you need to move with that pace, so that you don't become irrelevant. You don't it just move past you, and you're like, where am I? So how do we do that? Number one, for starters, if you're just starting out, I would say that don't be don't be too worried about everything happening at the same time. Find your feet, like you need to be grounded. So find your feet first. If you're into data protection, privacy, also cybersecurity aside, look at those, like what are the fundamentals in data protection? What are those fundamentals? Privacy, what are those fundamentals? Cybersecurity, what are those things that I should know? You need to stay grounded in those things. You need to know those things first. Then you can then build up on all of those things, because if you just try to move with the trend, you are like it's not sustainable, and that's what we're discussing here. So for you to have a sustainable career, you need to first build foundation. Know privacy, like know those principles, know them, know the foundation, then you can then build up. Now, the strategy I use, I call it okay, so it's create time for deep learning. Deep learning in the sense that you try to learn. So maybe every day, create time, block time for deep learning. So I'm learning something, I want to really, go in depth. Then also your schedule as well, maybe weekly. I don't know how your schedule is. It could be weekly, it could be daily, whatever works for you. Also create time for daily updates so you don't miss out as well. Because if you are there just learning something and things are happening, and maybe you might the fear of missing out, you might miss out really. So just create little time for daily updates, and you create time for deep learning. So your deep learning, maybe 2 hours or 3 hours or 1 hour or 2 hours, depending on what your schedule is, like I said, you know that you are being rooted in the core, in the foundation. Then daily updates just allows you to catch up on things that are happening. Now, for deep learning, I would say you structure it. I'm an advocate of structured learning. So you could maybe take courses on Coursera, on Udemy, or I want to learn about maybe this aspect of data protection, or this aspect of privacy, or this aspect of AI, or this, anything at all that you want to really zoom into, you do that. Then for daily updates, you subscribe to newsletter. There's no there's no other way. Subscribe to newsletters. You pick all this information from it. You can maybe if it's LinkedIn, if there's someone you are following that you know that, or maybe a page that they post things like as it's happening, you can always catch up on podcast. These are is quick wins. If you are in transit, you can listen to your podcast. You don't have to. You can be doing other things and listening to podcast. So just see how you can. So those will give you daily updates. Then also create time for deep learning. So you're not just chasing trends. You are also building foundation. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Yetunde. Create a structured learning. There should be a time for deep learning. There should be a time for daily updates. So, actually, I think one of my mentors has said that to me before. There was when I started my career. They will tell you there should be a time for deep learning, like you are learning core. But the thing is, it's actually not easy. Actually, we are still coming to that when we talk about burnout and all that. We are coming to that. It's not easy. Oh. There are sometimes I would have created a timetable, and I will eventually not do more than probably two of the timetable. Of the timetable I've created for myself. I will still not cover just more than two topics. There is one I did last year that I looked at the timetable and I was like, and Dio, you invested time in creating this timetable, but you didn't follow it.
So
Yeah,
so so
so
just to quickly add, what I've learned over time is that intensity does not so you need to know yourself, like self-awareness in any career, any field. You need to get to that. It's a journey. No, I don't think anybody has attained, I say, oh, I'm now fully self-aware. But you need to continue to practice self-awareness. You need to know yourself, what works for you. For me, intensity does not work. So you something will give either intensity or consistency, or you're giving, so you are like, if you want to be intense, you'll burn out. If that is, if so, like I said, it's not everybody. Some people they have energy, they can go like that, intensity. If you are not that kind of person, you know that if you are saying, can I really commit 2 hours a day, it's unrealistic, because I have to do other things. I have work. We are working, right? You have other things to do. So you can say, okay, maybe that week, maybe that daily deep learning might not even work. It could be weekends, it could be weekly. So I know that every week I commit 2 hours. So consistency is what will give you what you're looking for, that you will not burn out, not that intensity. But some people, intensity works just well for them.
thank you so much. I love that point. Intensity, consistency. So choose what works for you depending on what you want or who you are. Self-awareness. All right. So Victor, let's hear your opinion on this.
Yeah, Yetunde has actually hit the nail on the head. It's been spot on. There's nothing else I need to add. I'll just say that for me, right, that intensity was my initial approach when I really decided that, oh no, this is my specialization. I need to be like an expert in cybersecurity law and privacy law. And I thought that I could read maybe 10 articles a day and listen to five, but no, it was not, it didn't work. At some point I became disinterested, in the whole thing, because you're reading CCPA today and you're trying to master it, and like, I have the whole book, but now they've changed the law. What do you do? Do you read the new book? Do you want to master the old law? So with all of that, I just kind of laid back a little bit, and I realized that I don't need a master resource. I need a learning habit. So when you develop that learning habit and you integrate it into your day, you realize that keeping up with all the changes is not even, it's not really a complex thing. For me, what started as managing the resources that was coming, because I created I don't know the word for it now, but it's a thing that you can create with Google, like I can't find the word for it right now, but I created an email where there's certain keywords are fed into the Google thing, and it sends the email to me every time there's a
Yeah. Okay.
new update and something like privacy law or cybersecurity law. There's a dedicated email that receives all that stuff, and then maybe on Fridays or Saturdays I get to review it. Just skim through. You see that 3 minutes of skimming through one email updates that contains maybe 5 to 7 updates.
Very true.
At the end of 1 month, it all compounds, and you realize that you're entering spaces now and you're speaking with confidence, not because you did any intense learning, but because you were doing micro bits of everything. And another thing I want to add is also you need to be able to, yeah, it's great if you can dedicate a special time for it, but if you're a working professional like me, you don't want to be doing too much when you still have to, attend to your clients' needs and stuff like that. So you want to be able to make sure that that learning is part of your routine. I listen to my podcast when I'm taking my kids to dropping my kids off for daycare. I've already done 2 podcasts. On my way back, I can then listen to a cybersecurity YouTube video, and I'm still doing what I'm doing on my day-to-day basis, but I'm keeping up with all the changes. So that's kind of the two key things I can add: learning habit and embed it into the schedule that already works for you.
Thank you so much, Victor. Well, that's I don't know. I'm just loving the way you guys are saying it. And the podcast that you mentioned, would appreciate that you share with us too. I think I have quite some of this podcast too that I listen to, but I wouldn't mind hearing listening to the podcast that you also would recommend for us too. So Tolu Lokwe, over to you. Let's hear your opinion on this.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So I think Yetunde and Victor really covered the feed. Just for me to add one or two things. So my idea, I would say, you have structured learning, unstructured learning, which you also mentioned. Talking about the intensity. So for me, I would say first cover the basics intensely. Cover the basics intensely, and then other light reading can come, because the fact is, um, the space is mobile. It's as though it's a living human being. It's constantly evolving. What you knew yesterday is outdated today. So if you still stay on the knowledge that you have yesterday, it's no longer applicable today. But if you know the basics very well, irrespective of what new update there is, it would only build on what you have known or what you have learned. So I'll say, put that intense pressure on getting to know the basics. And then, now, one fact I know is this: the law, as it were, the cybersecurity privacy is quite vast. So you could, and now we are talking about AI ethics, AI governance program, and all that. So, that's another ball game entirely, which also has intersection with privacy and data, privacy and data protection. So this is what I would advise, and this is what I do. Light skimming or skim reading. Take 15 minutes a day, if it works for you. Read through blogs, read through. I have newsletters I've subscribed to. I love what Victor was saying about the Google Alert. I never tried that. Maybe I'll just add that to my cheat book now, so that I can also get the Google Alert. Yeah. So you get newsletters. Professor Solov from I know Professor Solov because I use his materials quite very well regularly. There are some one or two other newsletters I get from time to time. Now, LinkedIn is a hub of information. LinkedIn is a hub of information. You have virtually everything that you need. And I'm sure some people are also streaming and listening in on LinkedIn at the very moment. And I attended a lot of video discussions, video classes, video webinars organized by IAPP, organized by the ICO, some even organized by Nigeria as well. And one thing I would also advise is, you can follow thought leaders in the industry because you cannot reinvent the wheel. There are people who have gone ahead. There are a lot of people who I follow and I respect. Anytime I see their updates, I make sure I check what it is that they are saying, because that's one of the ways to get updated about what is happening in the industry. So there are thought leaders. There are people that are very respected in the industry. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just go through their updates. And one thing I found personally here is that everyone is approachable. They are ready to help you build. They are ready to help you scale. They are, as long as you are open and you are committed. So you can approach anyone. Just let them know that, okay, I have interest in this area of law. I would like to follow you. In fact, I have people who say, okay, go through this material, go through this material, go through this material, attend this conference, and then you will be able to gain knowledge that would help you to scale. So take 15 minutes of your time, go through privacy blogs, go through IAPP website, go through ICO website, because you find templates, you find directions. In fact, there's one I came recently, GDPR enforcement tracker. You find latest decisions of the European regulators all across board, and you know what it is that they are doing there. So the internet is there. And I also believe that one thing that is also an advantage very recently is the the advancement of generative AI, that can help you to curate your thoughts, because at times the internet just has scattered information, but there are some AI materials that can help you curate your thoughts, give you lists of blogs that you can, it will just help you to streamline the search and streamline materials, and then you can hit the nail of on the head, know what you are looking for, and then gain the knowledge that you need. And then apart from that, of course, Sitting had mentioned, take courses on Coursera. There are a lot of free courses that would help you, and then from there you can scale. That would help you to gain the fundamental knowledge, and then from there you can scale. Get more knowledge, and also there are quite some other platforms as well. I think Cybersecurity, quite a number of them that would help you both in the technical and the non-technical aspects of privacy and cybersecurity. All right, so that will be it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dolope. Well, you guys are just overwhelming us with knowledge. Thank you so much. And that will bring me to my next question. There's this conversation I used to have with my colleagues at work. They'll be like, well, in law, you don't even need masters to thrive in law. The way law is, after your LLB and your BL, you can do well. We have many senior advocates that are not even that do not have masters. We have many judges that do not have master's degree. So most of them be like, my BL is the end of it all. Now, the question is, do you think pursuing a LLM in cybersecurity and data privacy, do you think it has a way of ensuring sustainability in this field, or do you think without your LLM you can still do fine? LLM in cyber law or data privacy law, without it you can still do fine, or you feel, well, you can actually still acquire this degree if you want to, and there is no there is no you cannot be fine or you will be fine without it. So what's your take on pursuing a master's in cybersecurity law and privacy law? Do you think this would increase the chances of sustainability and profitability, or you think without it we are all good? I think I would ask Victor first to answer.
Yeah, I was gonna go first anyway because I like this question in particular. The reason I like the question is because it's tied to it's a very context based question. I did a master's in international business law and trade, and maybe I took one class in data transfer, but that's about it. I wouldn't think of that master's as a master's in privacy law, but I went on to do privacy stuff. So really, it boils down to what do you want to achieve. If you really want to go to academia and maybe become like a profound lecturer, just maybe you will not be able to avoid doing an extra masters or going for an advanced studies. But if you're trying to like work in the field. I'll say while a master's is good, I can definitely open doors for you depending on where you pursue it. I think there are better way, not better, no, not better, but there are other ways that you can develop that expertise. I've studied curriculums of almost 56 programs offering masters in some sort of cybersecurity or privacy law in the United States. And we have compiled this list at the Privacy Wiki database if anybody wants to check it out. But what I've noticed from reviewing all the curriculum is that it's really a technology law masters. Now, what they choose to call it, privacy or cybersecurity, that's just a focal course that they want you to take. But really, the entirety of the curriculum is technology law. And when you look at the curriculum of technology law, you realize that, oh, there's many aspects to it. This national security, which can be international data privacy. It could also be information systems audits. It could be complex litigations in data protection. It really depends on what you want. When you determine what you want, you can then find ways. And so I like the internet age that we are in right now. I could pick courses from Coursera and define my own curriculum and really have a master's level education without necessarily having an official master's degree. But if you want to, like I said, if you want to go through, it depends on what you want to pursue when you come into this field. If you're trying to go to academia, then yeah, you want to go through the route of going getting an LLM specialized in cybersecurity and then pursuing teaching experiences. But if you also just want to, dive into the technology law as a whole, there are masters as well that are technology law masters, and then they can help you specialize your niche in cybersecurity and privacy. So honestly, I don't think there's a one answer for it's like it's not a yes or no question. It's really what do you want to achieve and how can the masters help you achieve that? Are there other routes? Have you explored those other routes? What are you expecting to get out of the masters? It's a very important question. What do you want to get out of the masters? If you want to get a job out of, if your reason for doing the masters is just so you can get the job in cybersecurity, well, then I can assure you there are many other ways that you can do that. But if you really just want to do it for yourself, as to establish your your brand, your competence, or whatever, then yeah, there's really nobody that can advise you to do or not to do a masters. I don't know if that hits the point.
It does. It does. And thank you for mentioning Privacy Wiki. We will go and check because me, self, I need to check. I need to check because sometimes last year I was also going through this universities, especially the ones in Europe, looking at those ones who offer courses in cybersecurity and privacy. Just like you said, most of them have courses around technology law, like generally. But I think just a
Yeah.
few of them have cybersecurity courses, like strictly cybersecurity and privacy law courses. So I'll definitely go and take a look on your website to get more information on this. Thank you so much, Victor. So yesterday
Thank you.
can we hear from you?
Okay, so I share the same sentiments with Victor. When you ask that question, the first thing that jumped at me is, "What's your goal?" I'm a goal-driven person. I'm very intentional about the things I do. So if I'm doing this, there is like it aligns with the bigger picture. So if it does not align with the bigger picture, then I'm not doing it. So what is the goal? That's you need to ask why. Whatever if I want to do a master's, why? What is my goal? What do I want to achieve? Like he said, and that would inform that would help you to make an informed decision as to if I want to pursue a master's or I shouldn't. And like Victor already said, if the goal is I want to get a job, if you might not really need that, there are other things you can do. You can pursue maybe certifications, pursue internship and other things you can do that you can still get a job. But if your goal is different, it could be that you want to build, maybe you want to even pursue to PhD level, you want to build that credibility, you want to be a doctor, like whatever goal would then determine if you should actually pursue that masters or not. But yeah, you should align with that goal and you should be intentional, but don't just jump and start taking courses or spend a lot of money, pursuing masters when there are other ways you can achieve what you want to achieve. But masters is not, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a good route. It's just that there are other routes
Thank
as well.
you.
You need to explore all those routes and pick the one that is best for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Something came to my mind. I don't know if we should ask that question here on air, but I'm still thinking maybe I would ask, then I would pray in my heart that my speakers are able to answer in a, you know, not so exposing way, so that we'll not go on. All right, so look, can you just talk briefly on this?
Okay. Well, I think I would align myself with the first two speakers. So, except you want to pursue a specialized knowledge, and I also know that masters at times also just gives general, well, at least some part of it just also still give you the general knowledge, but it has the advantage of giving you specialized knowledge in that particular field. But so it's a very good idea. At the moment, I don't have one, even though I'm still thinking and considering, yes, still considering it, but I don't have one at the moment. But of course, if you are going into academics, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Your LLM, your PhD, that's the route for that. But if it's only just to be a practitioner, it may not be necessary because there are other professional routes uh, that you can take. Take courses, specialized courses that will give you hands-on experience beyond what you learn in the four walls of the classroom. So yes, I align myself with the other speakers that masters is very important, and also for some people might just want to have it as part of your portfolio. It's also nice, and like I said, it will give you. It might also give some other angles for you to consider that you might not encounter in all the other routes or other professional courses that you may take.
Hmm. Thank you, Tolu. So now let me ask you the question. The question is
Okay.
that I think I've gotten a way to tweak it because you mentioned something around it. So if if you eventually if you eventually decide that yes, I want to do a master's, are you going to do it in Nigeria?
Ah. Okay, so if I eventually decide that I will do a master's, Nigeria, we healthy. Maybe not really an option. And the reason for that is because, well, except if I find what I'm looking for, which at the moment I haven't. If I find what I'm looking for, if I find a curriculum that actually fits into my goal, definitely, and maybe I can consider that. But at the moment, I haven't, so that would limit my choice and restrict my focus away from Nigeria at the moment. But then, who knows what can happen tomorrow?
Because not to talk down on anyone or try to dissuade people from doing what they need to do, but I just feel people, most people are they have somewhat like a dented or a wrong idea as to masters. People just think they are just adding it up to their qualifications, right? I've seen colleagues of mine that have gone have taken masters, and till now there's no use for that masters, and I'm like, why are you guys doing this? Is it in a bid to be ahead of your colleagues, or in a bid to just add more cartons to the ones that you already have? So I just, in my head, I just feel like most people are just, I don't know, they are misguided. And that's why, and me, I've always been of this opinion that, well, if I'm going to eventually pursue a master's in cybersecurity, I'm not going to do it in Nigeria. No, no, and there is no disrespect to the country or to our universities, but I don't think I want to do it in Nigeria because, number one, this fields, they are still not entirely tapped into in Nigeria. We are still trying to scratch. In fact, we've not even finished scratching the surface of this field, cybersecurity and privacy law. We've not finished scratching the surfaces of this field in Nigeria. That's one. And even our undergraduate universities, most of them, many of these universities do not have anything around cyber law or data protection. So I'm scared to go to go and apply for a master's in in Nigerian universities, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to be expecting from them. So I'm just all over. Like I said, there's no disrespect to my beloved country, but it's just a personal thing. That's why I asked you that if you're going to do a master's at all, are you going to be doing it in Nigeria or outside Nigeria? Because, well, I think our audience, they would have gotten the answers from the question. All right, so thank you so much for answering our questions on LLM. So if you want to, depending on your goal, identify your goal and do what is necessary. If you feel you need a master's to achieve that goal, why not? Please pursue your master's well. All right, so the next question will be uh the first question I asked us was, we have this traditional legal practice, the way it is. We have the corporate law and litigation. So if you're not a courtroom lawyer, you will be a boardroom lawyer. So any of that in Nigeria. So depending on the sector, you can be doing litigation when it comes to maritime, doing litigation around data protection, doing litigation around property, doing litigation around anything. And in the boardroom, you are doing advisory, merger and acquisition, blah blah blah, like that. So the question is that is it going to affect, because some people, I'm doing law, aside from the fact that I love this thing called law, or probably I found an area that I really love, which is cybersecurity and privacy. Another thing that is making me do what I'm doing is because I want to make money, right? So profit. Because I don't think there's anybody pursuing anything and they are not looking towards getting results, making money from it. So I want to make money is one of my goals. Now, if profitability is put on one side and sustainability on the other side, do you think combining cybersecurity and privacy law as a field with other aspects of law, and you're practicing it as a practitioner, do you think it will aid sustainability? Yeah, it might aid profitability, but do you think it will aid sustainability in that field? For example, I'm doing cybersecurity and privacy law. I'm also still doing, I'm still doing real estate. I'm still doing maritime. I'm still doing the family law and all that. Do you think pursuing, having a career in that way, will it aid sustainability in cybersecurity and privacy field? And if yes, how? If no, what can we do? Or what do you advise to be done? I don't know who wants to go first. I think yesterday will go last, not because of anything, but probably because she's going to be speaking from a professional level, not a lawyer level. Okay, let's Victor go first.
Yeah, I think that the way that I like to look at it personally, I look at it as they're not silos. They're like a stack. Especially, I don't know, from a lawyer's perspective, depending on how you are interfacing with your clients, I think that at the corporate level, you can immediately see how you can take your value as a cybersecurity professional to let's say you're sitting on a board of an energy company and you're doing energy stuff for them. You can immediately start bringing value from privacy or cybersecurity into those areas. So I think that it's not because personally, I think of cybersecurity and privacy. I know a lot of people see it as a career, but I see it as an etiquette that everybody must have. If you have a certain ethics, you will not say, "Oh, we are talking real estate. I can't start bringing up this ethics." Cybersecurity is boils down to best practice. So if you have a bunch of real estate clients or you're working as a real estate lawyer, I don't really remember how it is visually in Nigeria now. But I imagine, like in the United States, you're working as a real estate lawyer, you can immediately have inputs that you can or value that you can add to your clients that doesn't have anything to do with what you currently do for them. You bring in your skill set in privacy, your skill set in cybersecurity. But from a professional perspective, trying to wear all those hats in the United States is not exactly seen as something that it's not a way that lawyers pursue practice. They tend to specialize in if you're in privacy, you're just in privacy. But those of us in consulting, we jump from privacy to security to e-discovery, and sometimes we're doing core e-discovery with privacy and security, and other times we're just doing general just audits. So I think that these are, I look at it as a stack. I think that there's value that you can add to every every area that you choose to specialize in for doing privacy and security into. It doesn't stop you from doing privacy and protection. Primarily, what I like to really enjoy doing is help businesses. And because I'm helping businesses in the government contract life cycle, I can already see that, oh, we are going to jam CMMC at this stage of the contract. So I can start talking to you about it while you're trying to even register the company that you would eventually use to pursue the government contract and end up having to do this compliance work. So I think that when you look at it as a stack, you can see that it's very easy for you to bring it up and then put it back in. But if you work, depending on where you work, if you work in a law firm, it might not be ideal for you just because you might be limited to a department or limited to a scope of work. But you're wearing the shoes of the consultant. Definitely, I see the situations where you pivot from privacy to security and go all the way to various other practice areas to add value to customers.
So, well, finding it difficult to clearly hear you, but was the fact that to be able to your knowledge or any sector that you find yourself. You said.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. I think it has my audio has been difficult this afternoon.
So I don't know. Did you hear what I said? Okay, your audio is malfunctioning again. All right. Okay, so while Victor sorts the issue, Tony Lokpa, can you please make a comment on this?
Okay. So my angle would come from the fact that from the invite said this is for the law students and lawyers 1 to 5 years who might just be starting out. So what I would say is this: of course, you have your short-term goal and your long-term goal. Now, what's the short-term goal? What's the long-term goal? Is it profitability? Is it sustainability? Um, do you want to do privacy it alone? I know who are doing that. Um, Privacy, cybersecurity, and the focus on that alone. But I would permit me to use the word, say they are established authority in the field. Can you hear me, please? Okay,
Yes.
all right, thank you. So they are what I would call established authorities in the field already. So for them, they can focus squarely on the technical aspect or the non-technical aspect, because even if we are talking about cybersecurity, we have the non-technical aspect, the legal aspect, we have the technical aspect. It's also broken down into various fields. But in the short term, you may not be able to just focus on cybersecurity alone. So I think, particularly as a lawyer and from a legal point of view, for a start, it might be good or it would be good to, again, I root for the basics always. So know basics of what the law is. If your passion is for privacy, data protection, business law, compliance services, litigation, there, irrespective of if there is one or two things that joins everything together. So you should know that basic aspect of the law first, and then from there you can scale. You can say, okay, I give myself 5, 6 years. After 10 years, I will focus squarely on this aspect. After 7 years, I'll focus squarely on this aspect. I'll be known for this aspect. But if you are just starting out, it might be difficult to say that you just want to stick to a niche, and then establish yourself in that niche. While, yes, you would gain knowledge here and there, but then there is also that profitability part of it, sustenance, your regular and daily sustenance. And if the um, let me use the local parlance. If the dough is not flowing from that niche, you still are going to have a bit of difficulty sustaining yourself, keeping yourself. So, what I would advise is this: if you're just starting out, you can just have a focus on everything. Maybe not everything, but at least on the areas of law that is readily available around you. Why you know that on the long run, this is my focus, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to get established on that line. Because so for someone like me now, I'm more into litigation, uh, planning that on the long run, I will move out of that to focus majorly on data protection. But in the short term, I'm still doing that, and then also still doing this, and then still doing advisory services, compliance services, rendering consultation for some companies here and there as well. So, and like Victor said, you might have a client who they don't know that they have need for this service, but because of your expertise, you can preach it to them, let them know that, okay, Nigeria has the NDPA 2023. We have the NDPA Guide 2025. We have the regulator who says that there will be more regulatory sanctions this year. And you make them see the reason for cybersecurity policies, make them see the reason for data protection, make them see the reason for privacy. So even at that, you're also helping the industry and you are creating more awareness. So that would be my take on that. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. Thank you. You did. You answered the question. Um,
All right, thank you very
I don't know if yesterday has anything to say on this.
Oh, yes, yes. So, like you already know, I'm not going to speak from a legal perspective, but from a general professional perspective, um, maybe focus on cybersecurity now. So, for us, cybersecurity, I think it's a bit easier because when you're coming into cybersecurity, I'm an advocate of explore quickly, do your research, and okay, what are those paths, and then
much.
quickly find where your strength, where your passion, your
Yeah.
goal, everything aligns, and um, like a tree, you want to be rooted, and then you should, after being grounded, being rooted, you can then start branching up if you like. They just look for that specialize as quick as you can. Um, Now, but maybe maybe it's not really completely the same with the legal law that you guys have been talking about. I've listened to both Victor and Tolu. So, but what I can say professionally, from a profitability perspective, it pays to long term now, not short term. Long term, it pays to have a niche, like you have something that they know you for. When I think about maybe privacy law, somebody comes to mind. Do you understand? So you want to be that person. When I think about a thought leader here, so and it still depends on your goal as well. If you want to build that expertise, that domain expertise, and there are different ways to even build domain expertise. Some people, they have now even narrowed down to industry or sector, for example, to say, okay, when it comes to energy sector, I'm not doing anything. So my own cybersecurity is not everybody. It's not everybody. It's not the guru. Is this sector, financial services. That's why I have expertise. When it comes to energy sector, call me. If it's in the tech and telco space, call me. So, but it's when you're starting up, you don't have that. Of course, you won't say that is what I want to. If it's not telco, no, I'm not interested. No, you won't do that. Especially if you're in the consulting space, maybe you get to be on different clients. But as you are growing, you're already knowing where your interest lies, and you already know where you really want to be known for, and just build thought leader around that space. And it comes, see, when they know you, when the name would, it's profit will come, it's rewarding. But maybe starting out, it might not be that rewarding if it's just only one client or one sector that you're focusing, or one thing that you're doing. You might want to, be available for other things. But just know that the more specialized you become, and the better, like in terms of credibility, in terms of thought leadership, the better it is for that goal, if that is your goal. But if it's not, you can open your business to everything and bring your jack of all trades and master of all. You can also be that.
Thank you so much, Yetunde. Thank you. Well, it's the truth is, as a young professional, we need money. We need money to sustain ourselves. So I'm not built that thought leadership completely yet. Some people, but me, I know that I've not gotten there yet. So, well, yeah, that means that I'm still open to some other things aside cybersecurity. As I am right now, I work in a law firm where we do call litigation. I do commercial transaction litigation. That's what I face, commercial litigation. We go to court to represent. Most of our clients are financial institutions. Those are people that represent in court most of the time. So I do that. That's what I do as a 9 to 5. But on a personal level, I do cybersecurity and privacy. So comes to consulting, comes to drafting policies and all that, I do that. So on the long run, the advice is that you can open yourself as much as to what you want, as much as you can, as much as your capacity carries, but don't lose sight of your goal. Don't lose sight of what you want to achieve. I think that's how I'm going to just establish that. So as I'm doing litigation, I'm not still losing sight of the fact that I want to build an authority in cybersecurity. They should know, okay, if there's a lawyer they're looking for in cybersecurity, all of that should come to mind. Yes, the cybersecurity lawyer that we do in Nigeria. That's what I'm going to build, and that's what I'm going to be building. So even as much as you're looking for the profit, the money, please don't lose sight of what your goal is, what you seek to achieve. So thank you so much for that responses. So the next would be that how do you think, because most people, if they're going to be starting in organizations, offices, they will start out from a junior role. So what is advice? How do you think we can transition from this junior role that we have to advanced roles, managers, roles for team leads, senior associates? How do you think is best for people to transition from a junior role to be in a field? In this field, so especially security and privacy. Yeah. Yes.
How can you transition? How can you climb quickly? Is that the question? Let me rephrase. How can you climb from a junior to yes? See, first off, you need to show workings. Seriously, I say that with all sense of humility. You need to you need to be the expertise. You need to know. You need to put in the work. I so I'm privileged to work for or to work for an organization where you reward good work. You can expect if you're putting in the work, you can expect to be promoted, and that's how you grow. So you put in the work, and you're building expertise. And how do you need to build expertise? So you're building expertise and you're growing. And but at some point, now if you're not in that organization, if you're not in like my kind of organization where if you know you're doing a good work, you can predict your promotion is predictable. It's like in your hands. We say your career is in your hands. When you come into our organization, we tell you your career is in your hands because you are the one that will determine. So it's like we already have those metrics. You know what you need to do, and you know and when it's time for appraiser, the goalpost is not going to change. if you've communicated that the passing, for example, if it's a school, maybe passing score is maybe 70%. During appraisal, it's not going to change to 90%. They're not going to change the goalpost. So you already know what you need to do to get that promotion. Now, if you're not in that organized that kind of organization, I think you also still need to put in the work. You also need to understand the culture of the organization. Now, I think visibility. I advocate for having a visibility strategy. And I say that because I'm introverted. I'm an introvert. Some people may not know, but if you're close to me, you know that I'm very introverted. And but that does not mean that because you're introverted, you allow other people to take glory for or take recognition for your work. Because you also need to understand how how things work. You need to be able to show that this is that things you've done. So have a strategy that you can use to project your work, that will give your work the good work you're doing. So now I said build competence, build expertise, and put in the good work. Now you've done that, you need to be able to project that work you're doing so that someone else will not carry it and add it to their own. So have a visibility strategy. Um, Speaking meetings, enable your camera. I tell my, people on my team that see, enable your camera. What is it? Let people see your face. Let people build connection, and so that's how you can, build visibility as well. Then they also find, it's easier where I work, and I would also refer to that because you have career coaches. You have once you come in, they assign you a coach. If you are not in that kind of organization that has a structured way to ensure that you succeed and you will move from point A to point B, find yourself a mentor. Everybody in that organization cannot hate you or maybe dislike you. So find yourself a mentor. It will get to some stage in your life that you need a sponsor. It's easier to get promotion from maybe an associate to maybe a A2, from A2 to senior. But as you are climbing, you want to become a manager, you want to become a senior manager, you want to become a director like that. You need it's not by you need sponsor, so you need sponsorship. Somebody who can speak for you, can speak of your good work where you don't have access in rooms where you do not even have access to. They can project the good work you're doing. So find yourself a sponsor and yeah, just continue the good work and you would definitely get yourself at the top. There will be opportunity and people will speak for you when those opportunities show, and you get a seat where you belong, where you deserve.
So see you at the top.
Yeah.
Okay. So well, when she was talking about visibility, something came to mind. I came across, I can't remember the conversation, probably it was a podcast or YouTube video, but the emphasis of that person was that, or a book, I can't even remember where I got this information. The person said most people in a workplace, they actually belittle the power of documentation, especially if you're in a place where you need to fight for everything. You need to document your evidence. When yesterday said show workings, there are doing so many things at work you can forget, but there are some strategic things, some significant things that you have done that has contributed to something in the organization. It's better you write them down so that when there is a reason to start questioning, oh, this person, you said we should promote this person. What has been done? People can easily forget things. We are subject to forget things easily. So you are going to be the one to remind them, this happened through me. This is how we sorted this issue. You have evidence. There's somebody that took this practice to the core. The person has a notebook that is even a guy. He wrote it. He said, see, I will show them anything. If they call me before anybody, before any panel today, I have evidence of everything, of every significant things they have done. So documentation is very key. As you're fighting for visibility, please document things, significant contributions that you have made to an organization. Document it. You get why, especially when you're in an organization where you need to fight for things. I'm not in a toxic organization, thankfully, but some people are in an organization that are not conducive, that they are toxic. There's politics playing everywhere. So in those kind of organization, you need evidence, tangible evidence to show your contribution. So I would let Victor take over from there.
Yeah, you guys have been spot on about this. It's really about documenting your journey and um documenting your own expertise. You've addressed this from the point of view of somebody who already holds a privacy position. How about somebody who doesn't currently hold a privacy position, and maybe some people go maybe a year, 2 years. Are you going to, in 2 years of learning, go back and want to apply and start saying you're applying for entry level role? As a matter of fact, I don't even think there's any such thing as a junior role in cybersecurity or privacy, because when you even when you see an entry level job posting, when you look at the number of years of experience they're requiring of you, and when you look at and when you look at the kind of work that you'll be doing, it's definitely not a junior type work. So for those people who have not exactly held their first maybe official privacy role, I think one of the ways that you can build yourself from junior to an expert is really to put yourself out there, and as you learn, share what you're learning, teach people what you learn. When I was just learning, and then I was just sharing what I was learning, and then that has transformed into a whole knowledge management platform that I'm building, simply because I'm learning and I just enjoy sharing what I'm learning. So I don't think that now, even though I've worked on multiple compliance and privacy stuff, you would not see an official privacy job on my resume. And when I talk to recruiters every so often, they want to know where the privacy job is on my resume. And I say, take a look at all the experience from when I was a lawyer. That is all the privacy stuff that I've been doing. You need to be the one to really showcase your level of expertise, because nobody knows and nobody can read your mind. So that's the only thing I can add to that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's in your hands to showcase what you got. It is in your hands. Tolu, I don't know if you're there. Okay, so while Tolu is still trying to get back to us, I think we will just go to the next question. So the next question will be that I take it that we are experts here, and we've been in this field for a while. Yesterday has 10 years experience, even over 10 years. Victor has been in this field close to, from calculation, let's say 6 to 7, 10 years. Let's say that. So it's been quite a long time that you all have been in this field. So my question is, from your experience and your stay in this field so far, what are the biggest challenges you think cybersecurity and basic lawyers or professionals can face, and how do you think they can navigate these challenges? How can they navigate them successfully?
From my experience, I'll say
So
one of the big challenges. Oh, do you want me to go? Yeah,
yes, please.
okay. I'll say one of the big and reoccurring challenges that you find at any level you find yourself, it's getting stakeholder buy-in. So even if you're trying to convince, even if, because the way I was approaching companies, when I see a job posting that I really like, I would approach them really as a consultant and offer to solve that problem for the company, instead of them hiring somebody. And one of the challenges I found with having that communication with multiple companies was, how do I convince them? And you have to think of them as stakeholders. How do you convince them to really see value in what you're offering? It's the same thing. Even if somebody hires you today for a privacy job, there's some companies that will hire you today simply because it's a requirement. They don't even know for sure what they really need you to do. You need to be in that organization and then get different departments to be able to work together, and it's like that stakeholder buy-in is kind of one of the hardest parts, especially when you're working as a consultant in this space. You need to be able to convince boards, you need to be able to convince marketing teams, you need to be able to convince um different departments who think of data very differently, why they should think of data the way that you think of it, following whatever policies the company has in place. So that's one challenge, and then you're dealing with that, and then you also have to deal with the other challenge we've talked about, which is making sense of all the multiple changing laws across. If you're in the United States and your company is maybe dealing with data from 36 states? How do you manage all their multiple privacy laws? So these are one of like the two challenges that I see privacy and cybersecurity professionals continually deal with. I don't have any solution on top of my head. I just know that being aware of the problem is one thing, and then coming up with a strategy of how to get stakeholder buy-in and then stay updated with the laws, and then take all this complex information from all these changing laws and then convey that back to your stakeholders or your board or your clients in a way that really makes sense for them. So those challenges are things that you can overcome with experience and with time.
Thank you so much, Victor. When you talk about stakeholder buy-in, I can actually resonate with it because you can even see this thing happen in law firms. For having law firms to take the cybersecurity measures seriously, you really need to communicate these things. Why do they need it? Especially when you have old generation as the at the end of affairs, you need to you need you need to let them the essence of this thing. So thank you so much for that. Yes, can you please go on with your response?
I think I think Victor already captured it perfectly. Top of my head, the first challenge is the complexity and it's things are changing very fast. How to adapt with things are changing, with the way things are changing. There's the knowledge of yesterday, it's already stale for today, right? So how to manage, how to stay updated, is a challenge. It's an exciting challenge because because that keeps you on your toe. You then get to, okay, I need to do some research. I need to catch up. I need to read. I need to just stay ahead and all of those. But it's even whatever anyhow you want to see it. We like to say, oh, that's what makes the job exciting and all of that, which is good, which is correct, but it's still a challenge. Uh, it's still a challenge. Yeah. Then number two, like he already said, is getting stakeholder, right? Getting stakeholder management, getting top leadership, like we said, getting their buying, like making them see the value in privacy. Privacy. So I think I wrote an article and I said privacy is a premium brand. And for me, like the thought process around that is that if you look at organizations that are taking privacy seriously, like they're putting their brand out there to say, okay, for us, we care about privacy. Because the reason is because a lot of organizations see privacy from a compliance perspective with some this heavy burden that government or regulations are putting on us, and they don't want to really invest in it. We just want like what's the quickest way that we can get out of this that will not be in trouble. But okay, can we just what are those checks? Where's the checklist? Let's mark it, let's check it, let's check it, let's just tick the box and see how we can. But we need to see they need to be able to see it from a business imperative to see that it's not just about be complying. You're building loyalty, you're building your customers' loyalty. If I know that this bank, for example, is going to take my privacy seriously, bank A, then I would prefer bank A over bank B that might not take my privacy seriously. If I know that this application or even this product is privacy centric, I would prefer that to. So by that you need to be able to communicate these to them. So you have to be a business person. I was going to mention that when I was talking about how you grow from being a junior to a senior. I think I forgot, it skipped my mind. Now you have to be able to communicate the language of the business. See, nobody really, at some level, nobody cares about all those technical jargons that we know. So you need to be able to break it down to leadership, speak their language, speak how much you're saving, they're going to be saving, how much they're going to be growing their revenue, how much revenue growth they will have if more customers, um, they are increasing their customer base because customers are trusting them because of the privacy that they are now embracing. So we need to be able to speak their language in a way that they understand, and that is also a challenge because if you're a very technical person, speaking the language of the business, it takes some special skills. You need to take some special skills. You need to, learn those communication and business skills and all of those. At some point, you need to even be a good negotiator, be able to negotiate and say, okay, let's do this. Okay, this is, and just be able to negotiate with different stakeholders and get them on board. So those are good. They are challenges, but they are what we call exciting challenges that make the work, give us that adrenaline pump. Yeah, but yeah, they are challenges.
Thank you. Exciting challenges, right? Thank you. So, Tolope, let's hear from you on this.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Please confirm if you can still hear me.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So, of course, I think the first challenge that was reiterated by both speakers, constant changes in the constant legal changes in the industry. Laws keep coming out day to day. Policies, industry standards keep changing. And why? Because bad actors also they are changing their tactics from time to time. So you can't stay on what you know yesterday. So you have to keep up to date of what's going on. And like it's been earlier said, one way, personally for me, one way I do that is network. Apart from the reading, networking with people, speaking with colleagues on the phone over a chat. Hey, okay, what's up at your hand? What's up at my hand as well? We compare notes and then just take down some new things that you might not have noted before. Now, cybersecurity privacy is like in a box of its own, but it cuts across every other department of your organization, every other department, marketing, operations, HR, risk. It cuts across board. So it means that you must know the language of all the teams for you to be able to communicate. Now, this is where at times you have to be able to simplify legal jargons and put it into everyday use. You have to be able to speak the language of each team, let them know the impact of what they are doing, how it affects the law, or how the law affects what they are doing, so that they will know that you're not just there collecting salary and then you're not just another budget staff somewhere that doesn't actually have real impact. Because you can just say the entire law and then reproduce the whole thing. Yes, you need consent. Yes, we have to put TOMs, technical and organization measures in place. But what does that mean for the business that you are actually either consulting for or working with? You must be able to make them see that from the practical point of view. So at times that language barrier can be there because legal and technical experts can just have legal and technical language and then not relate with other fields. So that's also part of it. Um, Another challenge is so just like legal, many firms or companies they see privacy or data protection, cybersecurity as another budget. It's just another department with its own budget. So when they are trying to cost or cut budget, the first thing they go to is these people, we can't visibly see the impact. It's not an income generating department, as it were. So they can't visibly see that impact. So they just okay, so we have allocated budget for you, but we need to cut costs. So maybe you have need for 10 staff. They say, okay, what are you doing? Let's just get you five. You must be able to balance the business needs together with the compliance needs. Because when the compliance or when the regulator comes and there are lapses in your program, the blame comes back to you. When threat actors, when they gain access, they come back to you and say, but you are there. But they don't know that they have not allocated enough resources, even though you have been advocating for it. So, these are part of the challenges that can be faced from time to time. Now, one other personal challenge I know is that challenge is another thing that we call burnout, because you can just look at the whole team and you are overwhelmed. Like, this whole thing is too much. Just shut down everything. The next 2 weeks, I'm not even doing anything. I don't want to read anything. That danger of burnout is there. You just get tired of everything because of the and it like I said, it's a space or a field that constantly evolves. So the materials, the information keeps coming out from time to time. So you have a lot to keep up with. So that risk of burnout is there. You must have to be able to manage your time properly and also prioritize what needs to be prioritized so that you don't get affected by this thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tolu. Thank you. Well, using has called it exciting challenges. So there's definitely a way around every challenge that's been mentioned. So it's just for you to identify where you belong, the industry or the organization that you belong, identify where you belong, and see how you can, in your day to day activity, apply your knowledge or what skills that you have to resolve these challenges in your own way. So we can't take these challenges away from the organization. Manage stakeholder buy-in, communication, they're not seeing privacy as most of them are just seeing it as regulatory thing. Let's just do this thing. They're not doing it from their heart. I saw one of this data protection officer. I can't really place where but I probably US or one of these countries. The way she wrote that post, it cracked me up. I was just laughing. You would know that she put her emotion in that post. She was like, the organizations are not seeing the reason. They are not seeing the idea behind privacy. They don't care. So when she was called in as a third party consultant, what she had to work on was their mindset. She had to work on her mindset first. So they understand that security is everybody's business, everybody's responsibility. Whether you are HR, whether you are anywhere, it's everybody's responsibility. So they have to address their mindset before they start talking about security measures, the process for data protection, and all that. So not until everybody sees this thing, I will keep talking about it. If in your organization, you are the evangelist in that place, so keep talking about it, keep hammering it. It has to be normal to everybody. It has to be normal to everybody. So that will bring us to the end of the session. But before our speakers would say their final goodbye, I would want them to leave their final words to our audience. Like I said, our last session, and being the overall last session, I want our speakers to give their final word from your hearts. Speak from your heart to our audience. Your final word to us all. So I'll tell Yetunde to go first. Then Tolu, because Tolu said he has another engagement that has already started. So Yetunde go first. Tolu, then the powerful Victor would capital for us. So Yetunde, please. Yeah. Can you hear me?
I'm not sure she can hear you.
Yes, sir, can you hear me?
Hello. I can hear you now. Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't hear you. I think I had like a network glitch. I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. So the question is, being the overall final session, we want you to give our audience a
Oh goodness.
final word. So we want you to give our audience your
I can't hear.
final word. So we want you to speak from your heart to the audience.
I can't hear.
Okay, you can't hear me. All right, let's tell you where go.
Okay.
Tell can you
Okay.
please go ahead?
Yes. Okay. Can you hear
Let
me?
me try and fix my net.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, final words. Final words. I would say that we are expecting you. We're expecting you to come into the field as either a privacy practitioner, data protection practitioner, or a cybersecurity practitioner. Come into the field because there's that popular saying that the sky is enough for all the birds to fly, right? So come add beauty and color to the practice. Come with your dimension as well. And one thing I would say is it's a very interesting field. It's a very good field. It's imagine So there is a lot of opportunities available. So let me just look at. I'm seeing a question here. What is the importance of cybersecurity technical skill to a lawyer who is looking to go into cybersecurity? If you permit me, let me just take that. And the reason I'm taking that is because I'm not fully into cybersecurity, but I know one or two persons who are into that. Of course, the legal side of cybersecurity is GRC, right? But there's no way you do this technical part that you also would not have to learn GRC or the basics. So one of the advantage is that already it has covered that field for you. It has covered that GRC field for you. So you can as well apply the technical knowledge. Now, if you know the technical knowledge as a lawyer and you are going into the practice, your advice is going to be coming from a technical aspect and the legal aspect, which is a plus. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So whatever input you are going to put, you are going to have in any organization or institution you are joining will be from both perspective of the technical as well as the legal field, which also, it adds more feathers to your cap and also increases your credibility as someone who really knows. Because knowing that the technical field involves blue team, red team, purple team, white team, and all those things. So whichever team that you are on and that you are speaking from, you'll be talking and coming in as an authority in that field. So if it's possible, I have few lawyer friends who are into the technical aspect of cybersecurity and also doing the non-technical aspect, which is the GRC field. So my final words would be, it's a very exciting opportunity, the intersection of law and technology. It's a very exciting opportunity that I believe anyone coming to practice in that area, there is a lot to explore. If you are an adventurous person, there's a lot of opportunities to explore in that field, and also there is also the that of course the opportunity to earn income is also there by the side, which is also very, very important. And then, finally, you do what you love to do, and you are also helping a business, you are helping some people solve some problems. So that will be my final words. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tilope. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your energy, your efforts, everything that you've put into making it to this session. We sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. While Victor would answer the question too, please you also give us your final word. The question on the screen, then you give us your final word.
Thank you so much again for having me. For this question, it says importance of cybersecurity technical skill to a lawyer who is looking to get into cybersecurity. I would say use the approach that I used. When I was learning, I layered my learning and I layered it in what I call tea. So drink your tea. The tea is for technical. Know the technical stuff. I'm not saying you should be a hacker. You should go and learn how to do all this stuff. I did it because I wanted to and because I was already it's something I was doing even before law school. But at the very basic level, you need to be able to understand some of the controls that they use. Because if you're in policy development, you're designing privacy policy. You don't want to be writing about technical languages that you don't understand. So drink your tea, understand the technical aspect and understand the controls. The E in the T is the executive approach. You need to think like a board member. Think how a board member would think. And that way you'll be able to make sense of all the technical things and communicate it to the
I think we lost Victor due to technical issue. He's going to be joining us back very soon. So, okay, yesterday is here. Just before yesterday speaks on the last, the last word to audience, I would want to answer this question: what is the importance of cybersecurity technical skill to a lawyer who is looking to go into cybersecurity? So I want you to see the technical part of cybersecurity for lawyers. I want to see it like another layer that you can actually still scratch even as you're going into cybersecurity. That's not what you're focused on. Just like Victor rightly said, understanding the technical part would help you in advising people. If it comes to advisory, it will help you in preparing, drafting applicable policies because you understand how this thing runs. Not necessarily you knowing the core technical, right? I just finished an internship with Cybersecurity. We did so many sprints. We did ethical hacking sprint. We did security operation sprint. We did threat intelligence sprint. We did cloud security sprint. Now, I intentionally put in for this internship because of that, the other areas of cybersecurity they're going to explore because I want to just get insight into it. Not like I would go and be doing ethical hacking. No. Not like I want to go and do cloud security. No. But I just want to know. I just want to understand how this areas. I want to understand how they work. So at least if you're talking about cloud security, I still have some knowledge when it comes to cloud security. You can interface with it. If you're talking about ethical hacking, penetration testing, I think I still have some understanding because I've interfaced with it. As a matter of fact, during that internship, I was able to use some technical skill to get the coupon code of that particular electron store. I got the coupon code, which is something that not everybody is open to, just the system administrator is supposed to get access to. I was able to get it myself. So, understanding how this thing works would help you to, function better as a lawyer. So if I'm going to be acting as a security lawyer for any organization, they can't be talking about ethical hacking. I won't know what it is about. Or they're talking about cloud security and I won't have an idea. So, understanding the fundamentals of these technical areas, they are going to help you to be a better lawyer to that. So, Victor, can you please continue?
Yes, sorry about that. So yeah, I was saying that I was basically the approach I used the C formula to understand all the or or understand what those mean, understand the framework, to understand actually of how deliver practice documentations and workflows. So these are the things that I gradually begin to learn and immerse yourself in. I would also say if you're trying to start out, if you're young, if you're a student, and I like to really talk to law students about this, the Privacy Week here has an opportunity for professionals. We're open to, we take people who even hold the top cognitive private, but we are for more uh, law, law students, not that they have more time, just because they're hunger all the up there to have that hunger. IOPD's Privacy Week project. That way you can, while you're walking your way to getting your degree, you're positioning yourself have some like around laws and then tackle them to private good for everybody who is launched the uh, legal editor volunteer role as the launch pad for you. So anybody who is interested in talking about that, reach out.
Okay, thank you, Victor. Your final words to our audience then.
What I'll say, uh, keep hungry, keep learning, you will never go wrong.
The network is terrible.
Oh,
I can't seem to hear.
you hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was saying that they just need to stay hungry and keep learning and just take one framework and another one framework. Be a master of one framework, take the next framework, and within a short period of time, you realize that you've developed enough expertise of your own to even seek opportunities that you ordinarily wouldn't have thought that you could reach for before.
Thank you so much. Stay hungry, stay motivated. Yeah, thank you so much, Victor. Now, yesterday, your last word to our audience before we call it a day here.
Okay. So, for lawyers wanting to maybe transition to cybersecurity and privacy, I would say if you're considering it, I would say it's a bold move and it's rewarding. It's a rewarding career. So I think you should go for it. And I would advise that listen to all we've said, but just to wrap it up, I would say learn strategically. I'm an advocate for structured learning. Structure your learning, pace yourself, um, and I would say that find a community. It's find your peers. Don't just learn alone. Don't go on a solo route, on a solo journey. Look for a lot of community. So find that community and learn together. And I always advocate for self love. Like give yourself some grace. Don't be too hard on yourself. Um, don't run away from the technical stuff. Don't say because I'm a lawyer or I'm not technical. Those things that I cannot. No, it's not as hard as it seems or as you think. Don't shy away from the technical stuff. Learn those technical. They will really help you. Um, excuse me, I'm trying to remove it here. So they really help you, become a better privacy, cybersecurity and privacy lawyer. And so one last word for me, I would say build substance, prioritize substance over cosmetics. And the reason for that is we are in this age where everybody wants to appear as a thought leader, everybody wants to appear as an expert. Take time to build substance, build that substance. Don't go over, don't go after cosmetics. Oh, let me, don't go after. It's good to package, but build substance before you then package. So I would say build substance, prioritize substance over cosmetics. That's it. And give yourself grace. And yes, it's rewarding and you can do it. So go for it.
Thank you so much. Give yourself grace. That's very important. Don't be too hard on yourself. Some people, I think, where most people mistake is that the people who they admire, they tend to be living in dream of the people they admire or they are looking up to. Don't live in your own dream. Yeah, live in the position that you are, but you can still admire because you don't know the work these people have actually put into where they are right now. They didn't just start. Imagine I'm trying to compare myself to Yetunde or to Victor. Now started like many years ago. I'm just 2 years in, so I can't compare the level of experience, the level of wisdom, the level of growth. I can't compare. I can only admire them and learn from them, but not to compare. So please don't while in the bid to purchase or to chase your dream or to chase a particular thing, forget yourself and lose yourself to the people you're admiring. You don't need to do that. So please love yourself, give yourself some grace, own your journey, and you'll be fine. So this will be the end of our cybersecurity and privacy law playbook. Like I was saying earlier that we got a testimonial for somebody who said she had started our journey now, and this started from this same series that you are listening to right now. So I'm happy, and I'm sure that during the course of the months or the year, many people will still come back to this and this. I was able to start my journey. So it's a privilege to have all my speakers to be in this journey because those testimonials that we will get in are the ones that we've gotten. It's as a result of you all speaking to us here. So thank you for being part of this amazing dream come true. It's a dream come true hosting this particular series, and I'm happy to have you all join
Thank
and speak to us, and also our audience
Thank
here
you very
listening to
much.
us. To our audience, I will definitely send out the link. You're welcome. I'll send out the link to replay all these things so that you can go back at your convenience to learn again. There's no barrier, there's no limit to learning. So you can go back to refresh your memory, learn again what you've seen. So on this note, I would say thank you everybody. Thank you, Victor. Thank you today. Thank you, our audience. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
from
you.
the first to the
Thank you for
last
having
week.
me.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we hope that you have a wonderful week ahead. When there's another stuff like this, we'll reach out to you. We'll reach out to you because we enjoyed your time. We enjoyed your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much for having me. Bye,
So,
everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
all right. Bye. Thank you. I'm trying to paste.